So a little while back, I talked about the rights for a new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie being up in the air, and there were a lot of people vying for it. Well, apparently we have a bit of an update, which I imagine this bidding war is going to come to a close soon. I imagine, I would say either by the end of this month. Yeah, I think sometime by the. I could be wrong, but I think by the end of sometime this month, we will get a definitive like who will get the Texas Chainsaw Massacre uh, rights. Now, when I talked about it before, there was about 4 different studios, but now it's been whittled down to 2. It was Sony, A24, Neon, specifically Osgood Perkins, the director of like The Monkey and Longlegs and such other films, and Jordan Peele, who was also in the bidding war. Jordan Peele's company, Monkey Paw Productions. So we had some major heavy hitters in the horror genre, all kind of vying for control for this for the rights of this film franchise. So, what does that look like? Like, what does it look like now for the horror franchise? For horror franchises. As it stands right now, both Neon and Monkey Paw Productions have apparently bowed out, which sucks because like those were the 2 I really wanted. Like of the 4, though, like first and foremost, it was like Jordan Peele. I would love to see Jordan Peele do a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Like without a doubt, a Jordan Peele Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie would actually be pretty fire, if I'm being honest. But at the same time, there's also the matter of there's also this matter of rights and everything else, and I guess the pitch wasn't good enough for the people who I forget who owns specifically the Texas Chainsaw rights. I think it's the Toby Hooper estate, so if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But yeah, Jordan Peele bowed out, and then Neon and Osgood Perkins also bowed out. So it's really only come down to, according to all news sources, it's really only come down to, it's really only really come down to Sony and A24. And there are 2 different things going on right now. According to news sources, A24 wants to only rent the rights for a movie deal. I don't know how many. I don't know if it's 1 movie or like a trilogy, but they only want to rent the film franchise out. Like that's really what they want. Is nothing really special. On the other end of that spectrum, however, is Sony, who wants to buy the rights outright. Like they want to just own the Texas Chainsaw franchise. So what do I think? Like I said, I really wanted either Osgood or Jordan Peele to like have the rights, but it's really only come down to A24, which A24, you've done films with like Robert Eggers, but you've also done a lot of like art house horror movies that I just don't care for. And to be fair, Texas Chainsaw, I talked about in a video not too long ago, basically giving my thoughts on the matter of, well, Texas Chainsaw was a thing that was a progenitor for a lot of that independent horror film ideas and whatnot. That really kind of sparked a lot of it, and also this new era for the 70s of like, we don't need ratings and we can do grindhouse shit. And it eventually grew and changed into like what we have with A24. So A24 and only wanting to rent the rights is interesting, that they don't want to outright own it. Now, Sony, on the other hand, I would say, like, of the 2 right now, I would personally say I would give the rights to A24. Because I feel like they would actually treat the franchise with respect. I really do feel like A24 would understand what they would want to do with the film. Because God knows we haven't had a solid Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequel since, 2. The other, like, it's just been kind of down. Well, not counting the remakes. The remakes have been their own thing. But yeah. So yeah, obviously I do not want Sony to have ownership of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre rights. Multitude of reasons. One being, I just don't trust Sony with a horror property. Like, we saw, like, the thing that really solidified not trusting them with a horror franchise is literally what they did with Until Dawn. Like with the Until Dawn movie, they had all these cool effects and whatnot, but it just didn't have the heart of it. And I don't think they're going to have the heart for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. I really do not believe they would be able to give us the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that, we deserve. So, like I said, it really does suck that, we're not getting a film around, we're not getting a film based around, with Neon, with Osgood Perkins, and especially Jordan Peele. That's the one that really made me sad, was Jordan Peele was out. But now it's just A24 and Sony warring it out. And I like the idea that that A24 does not want to have ownership. They just we have a story, we want to tell it, and we'll give it back to you. Whereas Sony's just give us the rights, or we'll throw all the money at you. No matter how hard it takes, we're going to take the money and run. So yeah, I imagine this bidding war is going to come to an end before the month's out. I could be wrong, but that's what I see happening, is that this bidding war is probably going to come to an end very soon. And I do hope it's A24 who wins the matter. But we'll see. If it's Sony, I'm going to be like, oh god, I can't trust it. But you guys tell me in the comments below, who do you hope is going to get the rights for Texas Chainsaw Massacre? You hope it's A24 or Sony, and why? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, I hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.